What's good, y'all? It's your boy Mike back with another video, man. And I knew this day was coming. I ain't know when. I hoped that it wasn't as soon as it is, but hey, man, we here. After 18 seasons in the league, Russell Westbrook has retired from the NBA. As a longtime Russ fan, and truthfully, sort of like the reason why I even watch basketball today, I ain't gonna lie, bro. This one felt like a shotgun shell straight to the chest, man. Um, yeah, we're gonna talk about Russ today. I don't have any notes. All I got is my Russell Westbrook Thunder shirt jersey. I don't know what these are called. Shirt jerseys. This the old one. You could tell because it got the Adidas tag on it, not the Nike tag. But man, yeah. So the way I found out, I was on my phone at work. I opened up Twitter, and like the first thing I saw was like a ESPN or like a Sheamus post or something like that. It was like Russ is retiring, and then like right under it, Russ had posted his own video. I forgot how long it was. It wasn't that long of it. It was narrated by Michael B. Jordan, basically just talking about his career and how great of a player he is and what it means to retire and all the stuff he'll do post retirement and stuff like that. And truthfully, man, it was crazy because I'm like, I basically grew up watching Russell Westbrook. If you know me, you know that Westbrook is my favorite player. Any chance I get to throw his name into like the GOAT convo of point guards, players, regardless. Obviously, like I'm not a delusional fan. Obviously, I know that there are a lot of players that are better than him. But man, bro, talk about like a one of one and a very unique career for Russell Westbrook. It's not a lot of guys out there like him. It's not a lot of guys that left their whole heart and then some on that court every time they stepped on it, whether if it was a random game in November or it was game one of the NBA finals or game seven of the NBA finals or whatever. And yeah, I just want to talk about, the journey sort of as like a Russ fan, low key, because when I first started watching basketball, I was watching the Thunder. I was watching KD. Two of my favorite players, Russ and KD. Like I said, I grew up being like a big Thunder fan, and obviously the team is completely different now. I'm still a fan of SGA and J Dub, and OKC and what they got going on over there. Sort of more as like just like a NBA fan, not really as like a huge like super diehard stan or like fan club member now, but man, I remember always watching Westbrook and KD just basically go at your favorite players every night, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I remember watching like the series in 2016, Russ and KD versus Clay and Steph. And man, that series, like Thunder go up 3-1. And I for sure thought that was gonna be Russ ring right there, bro. I'm like, Russ and KD like probably about to get it done this year. Obviously, they blow the 3-1 to Golden State, and then Golden State goes and plays Cleveland, and then they blow the 3-1. And I mean, like when KD left OKC, I was very pissed. I'm not gonna lie. There's a video of me back when I was like 16, 17 years old of me throwing a pair of KD sevens off the porch, and I have it on video. I don't know if I can find it or not, but I was so pissed. I ain't even gonna lie. And since then, I just knew that I had to just, I had to just tune into Westbrook and see what like what he would do. You get what I'm saying? And man, that MVP season, so legendary, bro. Like I watched a lot of those games that year. I watched a lot of those games, and I like there so much weight was on his shoulders in that MVP season. And I mean, like, did he deliver? I mean, I'm talking like my boy literally had 42 triple doubles, gang. That's half of the season. My boy had 42 triple doubles in 80 games. Like, do you not know how crazy that is? Bro, like, I'm just sitting here, like, every game, down the clutch, put the ball in Russ' hands, let Russ be Russ. I know that's a kind of like a meme now, and we're going to talk about his Lakers stint, too, because I think his Lakers stint probably, like, tarnished his reputation his last few years. But yeah, like going back to that MVP season though, my boy, like you gave Russ that ball and you just knew something special was gonna happen every time down the court. And so many game winners, so many clutch moments. I remember sitting in my living room and the night he broke the triple double record, I remember like literally standing up. That was the night I knew I had to get the shirt. I knew I had to get the jersey or something. Obviously, 16, 17 years old. I ain't had the money to just go get up and go get $100 Westbrook jersey. You get what I'm saying? But I knew I knew then that we was looking at something real special. And I'm not trying to say this on some like I'm the Pope, I'm the wizard, and I seen the future or whatnot. But what he was doing that year, I mean, we could talk about Steph, we could talk about Harden, we could talk about Bron, KD, we could talk about any other player like in the league that year, that season, what they did, but nobody deserved that MVP more than Russ, bro. My boy averaged 31, 10, and 10. Do you know how crazy that is as a 6'3" guard? Just insane, bro. The last few days I've been watching so much highlights, and that man literally had a trampoline. Like that man was literally jumping off of a trampoline every time he went up at that rim, bro. Like just absolutely crazy. And like I said, bro, that 2017 season, 2016, 2017 season was so crazy because if you go back and you look at that roster, right? OKC finishes fifth. OKC finishes fifth that year and faces Harden, who was, I think Harden finished either number 2 or number 3 in MVP voting that year. He won the year after that, but in I think the OKC, I think like the Thunder only got like one game on them that series, and Russ had a crazy clutch shot. I remember Steven Adams at the free throw line. Steven Adams intentionally misses the free throw. He catches his own rebound, kicks it out, and Russ hits like a 40-footer three to cut the lead to 1. I think they ended up losing that game. I'm not gonna lie, but truthfully, the Rockets were a better team. They had more firepower than OKC, but Russ really did his thing, and I'm so happy that his name, as you know, as him being my favorite player, I'm so happy that his name is like forever etched in history now. You know, with that MVP and the rest of his awards. I would have came over here with a list of his awards, but I mean, he's like a 9-time All-Star. He's won like 2 gold medals. Obviously, he got the MVP. He got an assist champion, scoring champion. He got 2 All-Star game MVPs on top of like a whole bunch of other records. Like he's the #1 scoring point guard in NBA history. I think he's the #1 like rebounding point guard in NBA history. Just like some all-time crazy stats for an all-time crazy player. And I think that no matter who your favorite player is, no matter what era you grew up in, no matter where you grew up, you gotta look at Russ and be like, yeah, he was for sure one of them ones. And like I said, his name is forever etched in history, bro. I vividly remember like when the Jordan and Lil Uzi commercial came out. Lil Uzi, one of my favorite artists as well, and when he had the whole campaign with "Do What I Want," it was just crazy, bro. Like hell of a time back in 2016 and in 2017. That was just stupid crazy, man. And although he never got to the mountain after 2012 going up against the Heat, it was always a thrill to watch him play. I think OKC didn't do the craziest job building around him, but I think when they got PG and they got Melo, I think they definitely were building towards something. I think my favorite season by far, probably, obviously the MVP season, but I think the season after they traded Melo, which would be, I think, PG's maybe second or third season, where PG had finished like 3rd in MVP and 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year. Bro, that year you could not tell me nothing about OKC, man. I think PG and Russ was like a stupid crazy duo, bro. Always just so much tenacity, so much hustle, so much grit behind Russ, and a whole bunch of finesse and just style and aura by PG that season as well. Big fan of that. I vividly remember the night that PG got traded to Clippers, and then Russ had requested a trade, and he ended up going to Houston. Man, that Russ and Harden averaged 61 points as a backcourt. Do you know how insane that is? That is the highest scoring backcourt in NBA history, and that record is held by Westbrook and James Harden. You get what I'm saying? That like yo, watching them two play in Houston was so electric, and I swear like if Russ didn't get COVID that year, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say they would have won, but they would have probably won a lot further than they did. And I loved the Houston stint, loved the OKC stint. Um, when he left Houston and went to Washington, I was like, yeah, bro. At this time, Washington wasn't as promising as it is now. Obviously, now they got AJ DeBonta, Alexander Sarr, Kaishan George, and AD and Trey Young and all of them. But back then, it was just Bradley Beal, Hachimura. I think like Ish Smith was still on that squad at the time. Who else did they have? Raul Neto was on that squad too. A bunch of a bunch of supporting cast characters in Bradley Beal. I loved that stint as well. I believe he averaged a triple double for the Wizards as well too. He's their triple double leader in only, I think, one season that he played for them. He went so hard that year, bro. My favorite game of Russ playing for the Wizards is the game where they played against the Nets. And if you watch like the last maybe quarter of that game, Russ hits like a game-winning three. Bradley Beal hits like a crazy clutch three. Kyrie was tearing it up. It was just crazy. Like so much. And the craziest thing though is that like so many people think, oh, okay, like Russ on the Wizards, he over there with Bradley Beal, he gonna be alright. But like they actually put in a little bit of pain that year. Obviously, they didn't go like stupid far now. This was still the Wizards, and but like so much that year was just like crazy, bro. He also changed his number that year for the first time. He went from number 0 to number 4, which was crazy because I'm pretty sure it number 4 was a tribute to one of his late friends that passed away. So yeah, just an all-time crazy run. And then the Lakers run, we gonna talk about it. I loved that he went back home to play for the Lakers. I hate that he played for the Lakers though, I'm not gonna lie. He got scapegoated so bad. Him, Darvin Ham, the backdooring and the snake activity that took place between LeBron, Clutch, and like AD, Rich Paul, and all of them, I could go on for hours, bro. And Bron gonna have the nerve. Bron has the nerve to comment under Westbrook posts like, yeah, Brody, Hall of Fame next. I can't wait. Bro, you literally scapegoated him and threw him under the bus, bro. That Lakers stint literally almost ruined like Russ's legacy, bro. If you go back and you watch it, obviously Russ wasn't perfect. As a Russ fan, I can say that, with my chin high, with my chest out, Russ was not perfect. It was a lot of terrible decision making. It wasn't really a good fit there, but a lot of that stuff also had to do with like how that roster was constructed. That was a very old roster. I don't know if y'all remember, but like DeAndre Jordan was on there. Jared Dudley, I think, was on there. Obviously, Russ was on there, and he was a little bit older. Trevor Ariza was on that squad. He was a little bit older. Not to mention that the team is spearheaded by like a 30-plus year. How old was Bron at that time? Maybe like 34, 35? Maybe, I think. Maybe even older. So like so much of that team, like the way the team was constructed and Darvin Ham and the front office, a lot of that ended up falling on Russ. You get what I'm saying? And it was very unfair. And like I said, as a Russ fan, like I said, he did have some part in it. It was a few parts where it was like, all right, Russ, that was a little out of character for you. But nonetheless, I don't really like that Russ stint. I think it was cool to see him in the Lakers jersey, but I think after that he ended up going to the Clippers. I think he got bought out. He either got traded to the Jazz. Yeah, he got traded to the Jazz. The Jazz bought him out, and then he signed with the Clippers. I liked the Clippers stint with PG and Kawhi. Obviously, two guys who, when healthy, are some of the craziest two-way threats the league has ever seen. Um, Literally, like that whole stint just boiled down to like PG and Kawhi not being healthy. One of those, I think, like the last season Russ played, they made the playoffs, and Russ actually put up some good numbers. He actually did good production. One of the things I feel like you have to credit Russell Westbrook for, especially towards like the end of his career, is how he shaped his game around the new teams he played for, and how he was willing to, not only share the rock, but learn new systems and play differently with different stars. You get what I'm saying? Obviously, if you look at his career, the way, the way Russ played with KD, the way Russ played with Bill and PG and Kawhi, and even, to a fault, like Bron and AD, he played with all these guys differently. Even Jokic. The Denver stint was probably like post OKC era. I would say the Wizards stint, the Rockets stint, and the Denver stint were all like my faves. I didn't watch too much of him on Sacramento. I did think that that was a very weird fit, but yeah, I think that Russ is one of those guys, especially because, like I said, when you go from an MVP and you're the number one guy making the most money in the league at one point, and you got all these endorsements and you're that number one, it's very hard for you to go from the first option to the second option to the third option to, just taking whatever role. And you got to give Russ that credit, because a lot of guys, you know, don't have the easiest time sliding into that role. You get what I'm saying? And I think that Russ did more than enough in a lot of these roles. And truthfully, I still think that Russ maybe had another 2 years. That's probably like the biggest shock for me in this whole thing. I thought that Russ for sure had like 2 more. I'm like, last year he averaged 15, 5, and 6, bro. Like, that's exactly what you want in today's NBA from your backup guard. You get what I'm saying? And man, like, he developed the 3 ball late in his career. He hit some good threes for Denver. He hit threes for like Washington. He always, like, I always made a joke and called him like shooter Westbrook at certain times, but I always thought that Russell Westbrook's 3 ball was a lot better than a lot of people thought. Was he Steph? No. Like, everybody's not going to be the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. But if Russ was open and you needed it, it's a lot of good clips. It's a lot of highlights. Go watch them right now. There's a 1-hour video on the NBA channel on YouTube of Russ highlights. Go watch it. A lot of those like plays, some of those plays are threes. A lot of them are clutch. Go check that out. Yeah, man. But just to get back to like his stints, played for the Clippers and he ended up playing for Denver. And I really like that role he played next to Jokic, man. Like, we talk about 2 high IQ, high skilled guys. Russ fit so perfect into that squad. I'm so surprised that he didn't end up staying on Denver for the rest of his career, because I definitely could have seen that. But, definitely must have been something between the coaching and whatever. And he ended up in Sacramento. Like I said, I didn't watch a lot of these games, but when I tuned in, it was always Russ, like I said, leaving his complete heart and nothing less. And one thing about Russ, you cannot say that that man did not care. You cannot say he took a game off. You can't say he took a possession off. Literally, when it comes down to Russ, bro, you knew you were getting 250% every night. And if you weren't getting that, it was because he was probably injured. And even then, like, I remember bro played with a dent in his face at one point. Like, bro literally had an indent on the side of his face. Bro played through so many injuries, gang, and just an illustrious career by somebody. And like I said, he didn't win that ring, but if we gonna be honest, Russ is the best guy to play to never win a ring. We could look at Charles Barkley. We could look at, I think John Stockton don't got a ring either, right? We could talk about like Karl Malone, even though we shouldn't. I don't even know why I bought him up, but it's so many guys that we could talk about. Melo, Russ has to be number one. I think a very unique one-of-one career. Very rare for you to find a guy like Russ. 6'3", could jump out the gym, hit a wide open shot. Oh my God, bro. 2016, 2017 MVP Russ. Gang, that little mid pull up. Oh my God, that little corner jump shot he used to hit. Oh my God, bro. Like that little elbow jumper. That's what I meant to say. The little elbow jumper, bro. His mid range was automatic that year, bro. And it's so much. I just like I can't believe that it's over, but it's one of those things where, I'm happy that he went out in his way, right? Shams did report that the Wizards and the Kings had contracts for him on the table if he wanted to sign, and Russ declined. And there were rumors saying that Tel Aviv was trying to sign Russ, and at that rate, I feel like if I'm Russ and they're saying go to Tel Aviv, or that's a rumor that's popping up, yeah, it's time for us to get out of here. And yeah, man, so much left in the tank, bro. But I'm so happy that I was able to watch Russ. Like I said, this the only. I mean, I did buy this like right after the MVP season, but I'm gonna get the jersey soon, the real jersey. I gotta get it, man. 101, definitely one of my favorite players to watch. Like I said, bro, I can't wait to see what else he has in the tank. I do know that he is the creative director for Honor the Gift. I'm pretty sure that is his clothing brand. I have bought a few pieces. Big fan of that brand, so I'm excited to see where he goes with that. Like I said, he still got gas in the tank, so I wouldn't be surprised if you saw him at like Big Three or something like that, or you seen him at like Drew League or one of these like other, summer circuits or summer leagues or whatever the case may be. But man, my GOAT really retired, bro. I will go to war for Russ 8 days out the week and it's only 7. It's so crazy because when you look at like some of the greatest PGs of all time, Russ like is one of the most polarized point guards, and not only just point guards, but just like players. You get what I'm saying? And it's so weird seeing a lot of love on Twitter and just on social media in general, because throughout his career, he got a lot of hate for, like I said, his shot decisions, his playmaking decisions. I think Russ played so hard, and sometimes it was to a fault, but I think I want to go to war with that guy before I go to war with a guy that, oh, I got to do a little bit load management, or I'm only going hard on certain games because of this. Nah, like I said, bro, it doesn't matter if it was a random game in November or if it was the NBA Finals. You knew what you was getting when Russ stepped on that court, man. And like I said, I'm very excited to see where he goes, bro. This part of my childhood definitely fading away, but I'll never forget Russell Westbrook, bro. Definitely my favorite player of all time. I would say, like I said, on top of him breaking the triple-double record and hitting like that crazy, like way, way, way deep three-point shot. Some of my favorite plays by him, the game winner in Utah, where he just hit that little midi pull-up real quick. The clutch dunk on Clint Capella, where he basically like ran around like the top of the key and he got the ball at a perfect thing and just stuffed it on Clint Capella. No diddy. What's another favorite play? I know I said I don't like the Lakers stint, but there's one play where the Lakers played the Raptors in Toronto and Drake was there chirping in Russ's ear. Russ gets the steal, comes down and hits the three, and like the Lakers ended up, going to OT and winning that game. You got to talk about the Orlando game where Russ was just pulling up from 30, just smacking threes. Russ is just stupid crazy. I remember him winning the back-to-back All-Star game MVPs, man. It's just, like I said, bro, if you are a basketball fan, just in general, like as a non-hater, non-biased person, you have to look at Russ's career and just be in awe and be amazed. And every time I look at the stats, every time I look at the highlights, you see the impact, you see what he did for the NBA, and a lot of, the newer guys coming into the league, a lot of the rookies, and even like some of the like guys that's been around for a long time will tell you that Russ is their favorite player or was one of their favorite players coming up. And it's amazing to see that respect around the league. And there's been a lot of people, congratulating him, obviously. And it's just crazy, man. I think that when it's time for like Steph and KD and Bron for them to retire, it's really gonna be one of them ones. And I think Steph might be one of the last point guards from the 2010s era left. I know John Wall's already done, Chris Paul done, Derrick Rose done, Russ just retired. It's crazy, bro. But I could sit here and go on for hours. Just want to come out here, talk about Russ for a little bit, man. I hope y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share, like, subscribe, turn me up. Check out my Spider-Man Brand New Day. I don't know why I said it like that. Check out my Spider-Man Brand New Day review. That's out here lit. It's kids screaming outside now. Russ, congratulations on retirement, bro. I don't know you, but there you go, bro. I'm out of here, bro. Peace. I guess I could leave y'all with this. Boom. Just crazy. What a career by Russell Westbrook, man. Y'all have a good one.